Today is June 3rd, 2011, and I'm going to document this beautiful Bassman Pro 300 amp here. Beautiful amp, very nice condition. The knobs across the front. It's got a just all the frequencies, bass frequencies, of course. Well, it's being driven right now. The little green light's on. If I unplug the input here, I'll unplug this, the drive light goes out. If you overdrive it, it turns red. Very nice. It's on right now. Uses 6 6550s or KT88s. Let's unplug it. Look at the back. This is the output transformer right here. This thing is massive. Quite an impressive amplifier. Speaker outputs. It's got a thing called a tuner out. I'm not quite sure what that is. Line out, balance, bias, adjustments, foot switch, etc. All across a 10 amp switch. It's got fuses up here. It's got 100 milliamp fuses for the screens of 2 tubes. Another one here, another one here. If you put it in standby, the LEDs turn red. Very nice. Turn it back on and they turn green again. So what we're going to do is test this amplifier for output and distortion. But instead of running it at the normally at the 1 kilohertz level, which is pretty standard for mid-range amplifiers, we're going to run it. We're going to start out at 100 hertz. I have been playing with it, and I found some interesting characteristics about it. Okay. What we have here is we're going to be driving it with this Tektronix SG505 ultra low distortion oscillator. This is its THD, total harmonic distortion, and this is its voltage across 8 ohms. Watching it on an oscilloscope. Not in sync right now, but that's okay. And there's its frequency. This is a spectrum analyzer. We'll look a little bit at the spectral output of it. But at 100 hertz, you start cranking it up. Actually, I've got an attenuator right here feeding a different oscilloscope because it drives the oscilloscope right off the scale. And there it is, just starting to clip. You can see some clipping at the top and a little bit more at the bottom with 50 volts output, 2.8% distortion at 100 hertz. Very powerful amplifier. Well, 50 squared, 8 divided is 312 watts right there. 312 watts just at 100 hertz. Now, here's something kind of interesting about it. Is if we go up here, if we change our oscillator to a kilohertz, watch what happens. Drops way down. I'm sure that's by design. But since it's a bass amp, it just wants to pass the bass frequencies. You can drive it. You can up the gain the way you get the same amount of power out of it again. It puts out an enormous amount of power. Wow. There's its 50 volts again. That's the same amount of distortion. Takes a lot more drive than it does down at the lower frequencies. But again, I'm sure that's by design. We'll go back to 100 hertz. Whoa, there we go. That's a little bit too much. That's 57 volts, but that's at 16% distortion, so we can crank it down a little bit. Well, there it is. That's quite an amplifier. The only problem that it had was a couple of bad tubes, but just wanted to document it. I never know what's going to come through the shop here, and I figure YouTube viewers just like myself are interested in these beautiful instruments and how they perform. I repair them and then like to document them for everybody to see. Maybe it'll help others resolve their own problem. Just a really massive output transformer. That thing is really quite impressive. So there you go. Hope it's worth something to you, and hope you enjoy.